So schedule-wise, this is a Wednesday for us. Everything we did from a timing perspective, practice-wise, was much like a Wednesday. Tomorrow will be third down, and obviously that schedule will be flexed a little bit. Early signs are a lot of rain Saturday right now, 80% chance, 57 degrees. So wet ball drills, all of that stuff, we've got to be prepared for any kind of weather. Any questions?
Sean, we heard the caroling, so attitude's pretty good despite the loss last week.
Yeah, listen, these guys, I thought we had good work today. Coming off of 3 days of rest, I was pleased. We got to put a good plan together and play against a team that's playing well right now.
From a player perspective, what's the biggest key to taking advantage of the extra time to prepare?
Well, I think there's a mental framework of rest, but then this time of the year, it's really, the physical rest. Every team, there's guys nicked up, someone injured, so I would say that's the number one thing.
Sean, what went into the decision to waive Levi Wallace?
Look, it's never an easy decision. Hopefully we'll see how it goes and, we're able to get him back. But basically, you're trying to protect your roster at certain positions. I would say with the way Chris, Abrams, some of those guys have been really stepping up and again, keeping a young player like Blake Watson that others are trying to. This is the time of the year where some of the teams that are maybe out of it are trying to improve, look into the future. So it's always difficult. It's roster management though, and that's hard.
So
yeah.
And then you get Tyler back. How is Tyler sort of
His clock. He's doing well. His clock began today. He's doing really well.
Last year, like Palcho had a couple weeks at the end of the year where he got practice and then wasn't. Can you see Tyler helping his team at some point?
Yeah. Listen, number one, he's smart and he knows the system, and that's a big plus. Just getting him out here though and getting the work, I think is real helpful.
Sean, if 3 running backs can be a challenge, five even get that.
Well, yeah. I mean, we're talking about roster different than game day.
Coach, there was a raining game with the Jets. Did you learn anything from that game?
Well, look, the difference is now we'll see how the forecast projects, but we didn't have a strong indication of rain, and all of a sudden, it showed. So hopefully, the preparations this week will be ready for it. Obviously the biggest thing is the balls. Is it actively raining during the game? And if it is, how are the officials covering them? Those are all things you have to deal with. And then you also have to deal with how that might impact your play calling and what you're doing schematically in all 3 areas.
In general, how difficult is a receiver winning the Triple Crown?
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. I really had never looked at it that way. I saw the same broadcast, and look, I had a chance to see those guys live in person. Just throw in Justin Jefferson, and that whole team was something else. And watching them, even in the national championship game, it's fun to see guys that you watched in college playing at different teams, and now it's not fun going against some of them, but it was, those numbers are remarkable, and the run after catch only happens when you have strong hands. Rarely do you see him leave his feet. His feet are on the ground as he catches the ball. Some receivers will jump or pause to catch it, but his balance, and I would say he's extremely strong and hard to tackle. So that presents a challenge. And obviously, all three of the receivers have been playing well, along with the running back from Illinois. So certainly this team has found their stride when you watch them of late, and we're going to have to play one of our best games.
Sean, there's a
Talking Sunday about the coverage drops. They punish you for those, don't they?
Yeah, look, they're so good. The other part that they do a great job with is, and Joe does a good job with this, reading, feeling the pocket, climbing, and extending a play. They're really good with the not the improv, but the second element of a play if it's not open on time, and he'll keep it just as well and go get a first down. But they're really good with their scramble drill rules. So you really have to work on plaster, staying with your guy, and then we have to rush him the right way as well.
Sean, there's a lot of playoff scenarios, excluding your games. I mean, and if Kansas City wins tomorrow, they may not play starters in the finale against you guys. What do you tell your guys just don't worry about any of the games, worry about the task?
Yeah. Well, I put a note. We got to get to 10. It's the first thing. We got to get to 10. Let's focus on that. And all our preparation, everything we do. Cortland just said it best. We put ourselves in this position. Let's take advantage of it.
When you said you put a note, you write?
No, just right here. I just get to 10. 10.
Can we zoom in on that?
If you're a network, you can.
When you're still working through, I mean, when you've seen a lot of several different running backs this year, is there a challenge in trying to find one direction to go in, or do you feel like you've gotten productive things out of just several guys?
Yeah, it's a great question. We're learning. It's part of having a young team. We're seeing Abrams Drain come along, Bailey come along, Audric now come along, Blake. I mean, I'm just hitting on a handful of young players, and I think no different than Bo. You're, as a coach, quickly trying to sort through, hey, what are the things these guys do really well, and let's try to have them do those things.
Sean, going back to seeing those guys in college, you obviously saw Joe that he might have the best statistical college year ever. Did you think it would translate right away? And who does he kind of remind you of?
Who does he remind me of? That's a good question. I would say he's got that poise, and he's got real athletic feet. He can move. He can throw off schedule. I don't know if there's one person. I remember the evaluation though, and you knew he was going to be selected extremely high. I mean, I think that you have grades and you look at guys, and so often it depends on where they go, the system they're in, and so, man, for him to go with one of his top receivers was pretty unique. That doesn't always get to happen, and those two have really taken advantage of it.
From your time coaching Trey Henderson and seeing him film this year, what sort of challenge is he going to be?
Yeah, listen, Trey from day one, man, he's powerful. He's got really good bend. He obviously plays with great energy. He's extremely passionate. And he was part of that 17 class where there were so many of those players' contracts coming up. They were just so it's always good to see someone that you were part of selecting, having the success he's having. But, I mean, that was Lattimore, that was Ramczyk, that was Marcus Williams, that was Kamara, that was Alex Anzalone, that was Trey. I mean, that's a good class, and all of those guys are playing at a high level. So, but no, he's someone who can bend, like I said, and man, you're in for a full day's work. That's how he plays, and it's, you don't get to where he's at, and it's been consistent. It's not just this year for him. He's been real consistent.
In basketball, players and coaches talk about the clinching game is always the most difficult. Does this game against Cincy kind of have that feel? And what's like the key to getting to a win like this?
Well, I think, look, this game to Cincy has that feel because here we are at the end of the season. We know we're playing a good football team, a team that's been in the playoffs and kind of been where we've aspired to go. And so, yeah, like I said at the very beginning, all the details, we're going to have to play not a perfect game, but we're going to have to play one of our best games, and I think our players understand that.
Are you worried about losing any of your guys to the ballet company after?
The what?
The ballet. No?
The what?
A couple of guys were in the Nutcracker.
Oh, I didn't realize that. No, good for them. Huh? Good for them. They're good husbands.